Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Joe. Today we're going to be taking a look at an HDMI to VGA adapter from Benfi, not really sure how to say that, but this is a super cheap HDMI to VGA converter. Now, if you know anything about video signals in computers, you'll know that VGA doesn't transmit audio. So when you pick up one of these, just recognize that your audio will not be transmitted, only the video. But basically how this guy works is if you have a more modern computer, which I'm assuming most of you do, you probably only have HDMI out on your computer or tablet or whatever you're using. If you have an older monitor, however, it may use VGA, which is the series of pins there. Older monitors, I mean, look, we could throw them out and contribute to e-waste, or we can repurpose them. And I mean, for this tiny little adapter, basically that's what it does. It takes the video signal from your HDMI, more modern computer, tablet, whatever, and basically turns it into a VGA sort of analog signal that your old monitor can then output onto the screen. So basically you can use your old monitors as a secondary display or whatever. Anyway, the story behind this guy is I bought this because at work I've got a dual monitor setup, or I have a monitor, and I didn't have a dual monitor set up just yet. And I bought this monitor for like literally $1 at the thrift store. And it's an AOC, it's an older version, but again, for $1, I couldn't say no, and it does help out with the workflow situation. But I needed something to take my MacBook's HDMI, or it's really just USB-C, to a converter, to a hub, and then HDMI. I needed to take that digital signal, turn it into something that AOC could read, and so you need this little bit of tech, which again is an adapter. So there's like a chip in here that basically does something to the signal, yada, yada, yada. Now, like I said before, HDMI also transmits audio, but VGA does not. So if you use one of these guys, don't expect any sound to come out. It's just going to be the video. Anyway, I got this guy from Amazon for literally $6. I think they're normally about $8, but I found one on a flash sale or something like that. It was $6. There is literally nothing in the box. There are no instructions whatsoever. I mean, if we look at the box here, it basically just tells us that it's got to focus. It just tells us about the company, really. It doesn't give us any directions, but again, it's a pretty self-explanatory. Plug this into HDMI, plug that into your VGA, and you're good to go. Now, the only thing that you will need with this guy is you will need a separate VGA cable. So you'll need a VGA cable to go into this bit here, into your monitor, all right? Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to show you sort of my setup so that you can see what I'm working with here. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've got my MacBook here, and I use an external keyboard, but I've got the MacBook here, and I've got my monitor over here, right? This was $1 at the thrift store. Anyway, I've got a VGA cable connected to the back of that monitor, and then what I have here is, because it's a MacBook Air, it only has USB-C, so I have a little USB-C hub, which I've got my keyboard hooked into and a mouse. But it also outputs HDMI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the HDMI of the little hub here to the adapter. Then I'm going to connect the other end of the adapter to this VGA cable, and we should get a picture on this monitor. And hopefully it will work. We'll see. Anyway, let's connect this stuff all up and see what happens. Okay, so before I plug in the VGA into this adapter, which is just going to go in right like that, just wanted to show you how this connected. So basically, we've got my USB-C hub, which is connected to my MacBook, and we've got the HDMI out. We're just going to plug the HDMI bit in there like that, and then what we're going to do is we are going to take the VGA cable, which runs from the back of that monitor, and plug it into the converter here. And I'm going to plug it in, and it might be just like, I don't know, Chevy Chase in A Christmas Story. What do we got? We got a signal. Bang. All right, so what it's done is it automatically has basically just extended my monitor. So as you can see, I've got my mouse, and it drifts over onto the bigger screen, sort of. I don't know if you guys can see that. But yeah, it's just extended my display. So if you watch my mouse, it goes from the MacBook over here into the dual monitor. And if I take this tab and just drag it over, bang, it's there. So pretty happy with this $6 little adapter. It has turned a $1 thrift store monitor that otherwise probably would have been thrown out into a very useful working companion. So thank you very much, Ben Fee. They haven't sponsored this video, but I'm impressed. $6. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Gizmo Joe. I'll leave a link in the description for this particular piece, just the Ben Fee HDMI to VGA converter. It works. You saw it work with your own two eyes. It's great stuff. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. This is Gizmo Joe signing off, but I'll be back soon, so stay tuned.